During the campaign, one of the most unsavory things is to be called dishonest. This reminds me of what the founder of the Workers' Party, David Marshall, once said. He said, "They only see me as a critic, and to be a critic is to be an enemy who must be erased and destroyed. There is no such thing as an honest critic to the PAP." I hope that is changing. I hope that will change for Singapore's sake. Tonight, I want to talk about political honesty. What is political honesty to the Workers' Party? Political honesty is when we consider our opposition to government policies and our criticism of government policies in a principled way. Based on principles, we think we'll put Singaporeans first. PPN Teo Chi Yen asked how can the WP criticize government policies and vote yes to pass this year's budget? How could the Workers' Party criticize government policies and vote yes to pass this year's budget? He says we're flip-flopping, and he called us dishonest. Well, the short answer to him is pass means pass. It doesn't mean you got the perfect score. The WP MPs voted to pass this year's budget because we believe let us all keep our eyes on the way forward for Singapore and for Hougang. Hougang. What up? Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Shoma. Our next speaker, he is the Vice Chairman of the Workers' Party media team, as well as...
Parliament, we agreed to the government's budget this year, which the PM described as inclusive. We agreed with the budget because there were elements in it which were inclusive. Singaporeans, you know the track record of the Workers' Party. We do not oppose for the sake of opposing. If a policy benefits Singaporeans, how can we in good conscience oppose it? I am heartened to note that discerning Singaporeans were not distracted by the PAP's by-election strategy of sowing confusion. The Workers' Party has channeled its energies on keeping focused on our desire to serve Hougang and proving that you do not have to agree with the PAP. 40% of Singaporeans rejected the PAP during the last elections. Voters of Hougang and fellow Singaporeans, if Singapore is to evolve with the times, we need more Singaporeans who are not afraid to change the status quo, to stand up and take part in politics. And young Singaporeans have to step up and shape this country according to their hopes and vision. Ask yourselves, what do you want Singapore to look like in 10, 20 or 30 years' time? Will it be a country you are proud to belong to? Or will it be a country you are willing to lay down your life for? These answers are completely in your hands. If Singaporeans sit back and say to ourselves, let someone else take charge, let someone else do the work, then we would have forfeited our right to shape our own destiny. We would have forfeited our right to make this country our home, and you can bet someone else will make it his. In March this year, just two odd months ago, the world's senior most diplomat, United Nations Secretary General Ban Ki-moon, gave a talk at the behest of the International Institute for Strategic Studies at Fullerton Hotel in Singapore. In his response to a question from the audience on the youth, the UN Secretary General said, young people should only have to worry about the next meal, and if they can pay their medical bills. Life for them is precarious and hard. Some of our ITE and Polytechnic diploma holders face incredible competition from cheaper foreign talent. Even degree holders are not spared. Is this the Singapore that the youth today want to grow old in? Do they want to inherit a harsh, overcrowded city where the elderly are cast aside because they are no longer economically useful? If existing policies on labor, immigration and population do not change, and change soon, then this will be our reality in a few years' time. Everybody knows that the rising cost of living is a problem, but for young people today, it presents an even bigger challenge. Wages have not caught up with inflation. We are told today that we need to be more productive before we can enjoy a wage increase. And yet, international surveys show that Singaporean workers already have the longest working hours in the world. We are hardworking people, and yet we suffer the rising cost of housing. Modest HDB flats that have shrunk in size through the decades are increasingly beyond our reach. And if we can afford to make the down payment, we spend the next 3 decades of our lives paying off the loan. Young Singaporeans are going to inherit a Singapore where a house of their own may be beyond their grasp. Education is another major issue that you and your children have to worry about. The Singapore education system is a stressful, results-oriented system that leaves very little room for failure. The national exams are high-stakes games which you cannot afford to lose. PSLE, O-levels, A-levels, these tests will determine the type of life you will have.
港区的选民，各位支持者，晚上好。Tonight, I will speak first in Mandarin, followed by Teochew later, and last, I will speak in English. I'll be the last speaker. 我今日最大华语，落来。接到潮州，最後我將以英文來講述。我今晚所要談的，主要是後港區的未來發展，廣場之類的設施，或者是大型的社區建設。但是後港 是一个很舒服、宁静、很有小镇风味的地方。政府主务的翻新计划有3项，主要翻新计划、中期翻新计划，还有电梯翻新计划。只有电梯翻新计划有延伸到后港，不过要排队，排在后面。政府的目标是在2014年完成全国的电梯翻新工程，所有后港区内合格的主务电梯工程也将会在2014年完工。为了更好的集中资源来管理市政和取得较高的经济效益，所有中选的工人党议员一致决定合并阿育尼和后港市政理事会，成立了阿育尼后港市政理事会。2011年大选之后，人民的力量迫使进入发展局。